think we're going to figure out exactly what's going on now in this match. We should maybe just do a map veto real quick and then find out where we're going to be playing. Then we can actually just jump into it.
Coastline and Clubhouse, auto ban from previous matches, Border, Consulate, let's just go down the list. Cafe,
bam, bam, bam.
Bam, bam. So we got 2 left. Villa and Bank. Villa once again lifting the pool to the very end of it. Bank is going to come out on top at the end of the day, so we'll end up on Bank for this matchup.
All right.
And I think that they're pretty much ready to go, so we shouldn't have much of a need to waste any more time. We'll take a look at our community vote, though, see what you guys think of this matchup. I think this one's going to be probably pretty insided. It's pretty close, actually. 57 to 31, with 12% of you thinking that this one's going to be a draw.
Well, I mean, it's both these teams would find themselves in a similar position, only 2 spots away from each other, 8th and 6th. So it's still technically anyone's game. Elevate could get their very first win of the season or their second draw. Anything is possible. But right now, INTZ are definitely the team that are favored. I think that's a sure thing. Even
with their recent losses, the thing you to remember is Elevate has still continued to lose in recent times as well.
Consistently.
So there's not any reason for us to believe that Elevate's going to suddenly kind of change their tone here. There's not like any tournaments they've played away from this that indicate that. Like I said, INTZ has had a bit of a downturn, but with Elevate still kind of staying in the same shape, I still think that they'll be able to take the edge out of this one at the end of the day, or at minimum tie it. So we'll see how that works out as we're getting into the match right now.
We load into Bank. Elevate on attack, INTZ on defense, which means INTZ will start with the bans. I hate to make light of Elevate's situation, but I can't resist. Remember when we were talking in the break about how hard it is to be consistent in this game as a team? If anything,
I know where this is going.
If anything, Elevate is one of the most consistent teams in Pro League. I'm sorry, I know.
You said that in a much nicer way. I thought you were going to say it.
Really?
So, no.
No, but they've given us consistent performances, so that's different than a lot of other teams. Now, quick sidestep off of the jokes. This is a really ruthless ban phase to the attack.
Thatcher and Thermite getting out. So not only are you limited in your hard breach options from the get-go, having to use Hibana or, God forgive you, a Maverick in certain situations to get full walls open, but Thatcher is also knocked out, meaning good luck getting rid of bandit batteries, mute jammers, unless the site works into your specific favor, like you have a drone hole to send in Zofia charges through, or you get a really lucky Twitch drone that sneaks through the entire defensive lineup or something like that. It's not going to be easy, and we'll have to see how it plays out. Mira was left in once again here today, as the 2 defender bans ended up being Echo and Valkyrie.
So, that means Mira, like you said, still in play. Now, what Mira is going to add to the defense is basically when you're on your basement hold, you're going to have a really easy hold of the default plant from the red hallway. When you're defending CEO, you're going to have a really, I'd say, solid anchor position inside of meeting, unless you're INTZ, because you're not going to bring Mira, because you're too cool for Mira. So, not having a Mira on the top floor going to change how the things play out just a little bit, but ultimately, you can do it without her. A lot of teams actually practice without her, and that would probably be why INTZ is not going to be bringing her right now.
Definitely can still easily work a defense on this upstairs site without her in the play. So we're instead going to see the castle get 6-picked in, which under these circumstances, if we see INTZ struggling with controlling the windows, it'll help out a lot more with being able to just cordon off those areas. As you can see, I think 2 of them have already been put up on the edge of the connector leading into the inside of the actual site.
Now, don't forget, if you are an INTZ superfan, if you really enjoy them and their gameplay, you got to pick up that skin. Directly supports them, you know, really advantageous to support them in game as well.
Elevate was a little mean and banned it just so they couldn't show it off this game.
What?
They got Thermite, didn't they?
Yeah. Oh wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. They banned away INTZ's skin. Elevate got rid of.
How rude.
Yeah. What a bunch of meanies on the Elevate side. But no, it's probably actually a real reason for that, I'm guessing. Yeah. But all right, so Hell going to be moving his way on top of the car park, and he's looking for the angles. Now, this is a pretty typical challenge here. He is going to be supported as well by the main lobby repel. So there's a little bit of a wow, even by the west repel. There are 3 people looking for fights on reception right now by Banana.
So all of INTZ going to have to be very careful if they even want to think about picking into Banana at this point. It's not looking like we're really going to see it. INTZ is keeping pretty standard positions behind and inside of the site right there. And that's probably going to continue to remain the pace here for the next 20 or 30 seconds. When Elevate will more than likely get off these repels, and with the exception of maybe 1 or 2 players to start to work their way inside.
Mighty gonna be going for an Ash Charge, try and clear out some barricades, it seems. Not sure if it detonated, didn't hear the explosion, so guessing it got caught by an ADS.
So it's like that's not gonna find impact out of that, or just went out of our audio range.
Right now I'm seeing a whole lot of people looking for fights on the Elevate side by the main lobby, and a whole lot of INTZ just not taking fights, and nobody dying. Whoa, okay.
Patience is a virtue, I suppose.
Yeah, and Mighty will take down Boar, and I guess I spoke too soon. Half the round transpired now, though, so INTZ doing a decent job of delaying the round, if nothing else.
Knock, knock.
Elevate, a dedicated main lobby take. They have very little else happening other than main lobby. They might late rotate to North Repel, but this is just like they have a clear understanding of what they want to do.
That is the Maestro that got taken out, so obviously we don't have the utility usage from the Evil Eyes, but more than likely they were already preset this late into the round, so not a huge amount of utility loss. The biggest thing that's gone is the Alda, which is a piece of utility in itself these days to how much that can provide for a defensive team within a round. Levix looking to work his way in now, just on the outskirts of the wraparound here leading into the site, trying to watch for any potential duel that might be taken through connector as well. But not going to be finding that at this point. Again, still remaining very passive, but finally Duds from INTZ is going to be able to strike back, bring us back down to a 4v4. Elevate now a little bit less secure, but Hell will be able to pick up one against VNX, and just like that, they trade it back and take control. Drunks, though, also finding one as the teams continue to go back and forth. Intact gonna end up getting hit by an air jab, so they should know he's down there in that position after watching it. And no! Zion ends up going down directly in front of Cripsies, and not only that, but Cripsies gets downed right there. Drunks will find another pickup for INTZ, and now everything falls to Hell to clutch out the 1v2. He does have access to the site. He does not have Diffuser, most importantly. He's only got 15 seconds left. Trying to take a duel. He'll not end up coming out on top of that duel right there. He's going to have to work himself to the inside. Catches Drunks, will get the Diffuser. Now does he have time to get back? He misses his last opponent on the inside. He is going to have to commit to this plant in a second, and that should mean that the last man alive for INTZ should be able to run around and take him down. Almost missed him, but is going to be able to finish it off, and that's Intact finishing things off for INTZ as they claim round number 1.
Nice starting round there for INTZ, but it honestly looked like Elevate was going to be able to take it in the end. So, impressive clutch out there in the dying seconds of that round. INTZ were playing a lot safer than I would have expected, and Elevate were playing very aggressively in the main lobby, but the thing that really hurt them was they had nothing else going for them. They had maybe a late flank coming from square or stock or main stairs. I'm guessing it could have been a different result, but not the case here. Because INTZ only had to look one direction, they managed to win it out in the end. And also time. Time was a big factor. Elevate spent a lot of theirs just on Repel, looking for fights. And yes, eventually they did get a kill, but that was about half the round through. So that's pretty late.
And ultimately, unfortunately, they weren't able to leverage it into a successful execute anyway, as they were shut down amongst that execute. So the strategy does not work. INTZ locked down the upstairs site, and now that will be locked away until round number 4, I believe. And we're going to go downstairs here into the basement for the second site, as we will be following the usual trend so far from INTZ.
So, standard site selection overall. I mean, some teams will go to the basement first, some go top floor first. Really, it's what you make of it. Really, you know, honestly, a lot of people either weren't here for it or don't remember, but, well, and I'm sure you probably do remember, but it used to be the case that it was like the same site every round, and it played the same way every round. We have so much more diversity and strategy now in Siege than we had, like, I don't know, like a year and a half ago. And there's also the forced rotation, you know, giving us more diversity as well. It's interesting to see every team's individual take on where you should go first.
Yeah.
And it mostly comes down to what you're practicing in scrims, what you feel like is most successful to you. And a challenge in garage. Drunks.
He's got a camera for it as well, so we can try to re-peek this in a second. So he gets confirmed pings. They're going to be moving away from that, though, so it's not going to be the easiest duel in the world to take. Smartly backs out of it, but tries to re-peek again, and that will finally be where he gets too greedy. Taken out by Midi. And that is going to be Elevate, once again claiming the opening kill of the round.
Meanwhile, in open area, you also have control for the attackers, and Tact is trying to challenge that, but he's actually he's stuck. He's got gas canister, so he can get out of here, but he is stuck. He could also get flanked by Electrical, which is going to be something you'll have to keep in mind. Ooh, being wide peeked in. There you go. Okay, Intact. Just giving himself away. I don't know why he rotated there. That was really... the wrong call. And INTZ now find themselves 2 men down.
And without really the manpower to appropriately cover the site, it would seem, especially against a more standard execute that you would get from Elevate. But Elevate, I think, are reading into this now and are actually going to move away from that slightly. We've got the hatch getting opened up into the inside of CCTV itself. And Duds is looking to, of course, see if he can get the very rare but also very convenient pick onto the head of the Maverick if he can find it. But I don't think that's going to be the case. Maverick should be able to get that open without too much of an issue and open up the site.
Elevate. They have the control they need. There's no roamers. They have even garage. Now with this, they can pretty much do anything they want. So if this round is lost from Elevate, it would be really an impressive choke. And an impressive clutch from INTZ as well, no matter what. Both of those things have to happen for INTZ to win.
Located by attackers.
Now what we're seeing so far is just drops getting opened up. Duds has been forced into server, which means he's going to be trying to hold the A site from server. Meanwhile, we've got some players in vault and by gold. And other than that, INTZ has little to no control. They actually have nobody on the site itself right now. So there's going to be forced retake strat from INTZ, and that's because of the vertical presence that the attackers have and their ability to open up these drop downs, having both Hibana and a Maverick. But the one thing that the attackers are starting to run out of is time.
Only 30 seconds remaining here now for Elevate to work their way into the site and still have control of server, along with a few other key areas leading up to the site itself. But Elevate can now drop in and start to go for this push. We can see the Hibana getting into position to start their push. Levix will start the initial plant here now to get it onto the ground, and it more than likely will not get interrupted by INTZ as they are way off site. Midi even stops the first attempt to go against these players. We're going to see Midi pick up the second as well, leaving everything onto Duds, who's been roaming around like crazy here for the last 30 to 40 seconds now, but has been unable to find any real positioning against Elevate. It'll probably remain that way as they read into his elevator drop. He does win out the fight against the Nomad, but getting beyond this again is, yeah, as you can see, he's got 4 players on him, and they're just going to crowd him in and pick up the knife kill to end the round. Elevate find the trade onto round 2 for the basement and tie us up at 1-1.
That was a ruthlessly one-sided round there for Elevate. Nice try there for Mighty at the end, but he couldn't make it happen. And, okay, well. Or not Mighty, sorry, it was Duds, right?
The last alive, I think, was Duds, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Just to be, it was Mighty who got the kill. That's what it was. He was doing a lot of work over by Gun Vault. But overall, Elevate just, yeah, they cleared out the roamers at the beginning of the round. They even cleared out the roamers in the garage, which is uncommon. Usually you'll leave that alone. Then following that, they managed to open up pretty much all of the drop downs. All but, I think, 1 or 2. And then it was like wherever they wanted to attack, Elevate could attack. Because they had such a strong man advantage, they were very confident in how they cleared when they came into the site. And INTZ really just didn't show anything that would suggest they had a chance to come back.
And so Elevate able to easily swing their way through that attack. We are going to see INTZ reattempt the same site, though, as they're definitely not feeling going to Tellers this early on.
The thing really also stands out to me was Drunks' early engagement in the garage that he managed to lose. Now, he had the advantage in the heads-up gunfight because of the way the angles play out there, and he still lost 2 different attempts. So that's really not great. Drunks needs to be more assertive on holding that garage and just winning gunfights, having his crosshair, be where it needs to be in order to just defeat your enemy. And if he struggles again, then garage control easily for the attack. That's going to be rough.
I think in general we saw a pretty aggressive stance being taken there by INTZ. When you consider Drunks peak on top of the early deaths from the roamers, more than likely trying to take fights there and then just failing in it, along with just getting caught in the case of their smoke, it seemed, as we saw there in the mid-round. But it's looking like they've gone to a much more standard hold as you'd expect to play here into basement. So hopefully that issue is now fixed going into round 3.
So these EMPs are clustered like this because Thatcher's banned. So they shouldn't be, they can't be, they're going to be useful, basically, until they're all expended. Server hold, really important, it seems, for INTZ, but that's not really the focus for Elevate. They're clearing out the roamers, and they are looking to open up the drop-downs. Air jab put at the top of the stairs, so Intact can no longer get aggressive. At least he can't push out of the server staircase. Drop-downs getting opened up, so they know there's no roamers right now. Everybody's downstairs for the defense. So this is pretty much the same as the last round, just, as you said, much safer, much more passive defense from INTZ. They're not even going to try to roam here. They also have managed to hold on to the garage, which is a big difference.
INTZ in the meantime here now, still trying to be mindful of those other drop downs, even though we're still unsure about how Elevate are going to approach the actual attack. But most importantly, Elevate does not have control of any of the key areas leading up to the site, whereas in the last round they had already wiped out the roamers and basically had their pick of how they wanted to attack it. That's going to change now, though. Zion, once again here on the Nomad, is able to take out Drunks in an early duel. Hell will also find one as the team drops in through main stairs and the elevators and works their way into lockers. They've got full control. They've cleared out the defense with basically no damage being traded onto them whatsoever, leaving only the players inside of CCTV alive.
Missed shot there from Intact. Seems like there's a lot of those right now for INTZ. And there's a second missed shot for them. Diffuser goes down. Boar inside of the catch vault will lose out to Hell, who rushes into him. And it's going to be a flawless round for Elevate. So, okay, right now, we're seeing something that almost never happens. We are seeing one team just rush in, win gunfights, and the other one incapable of actually winning an engagement, straight up. Like, because how did Elevate get into the site there? They push through drop downs and main stairs. That's it. That usually doesn't work. Why? Because as a defender, when an attacker's doing that to you, you have like a 2-to-1 advantage in overall positioning and, you know, angles and everything. It's just all going your way as a defender. So the fact that INTZ are not punishing Elevate
2 in a row
for any of this, 2 in a row, is mind-boggling. And that was, they're not punishing Elevate so much so that was a flawless round.
And just to give emphasis as to how easy it is for defenders normally to rotate and cut off those kinds of attacks, I mean, anybody that's playing in Red Hall, for instance, their rotate to stop that is like 2 seconds. All they have to do is turn around and maybe go down the hall slightly, and then they're in position to take fights to stop that.
And when I say a 2-to-1 advantage, by the way, just to clarify, what I meant was, like, not arbitrary. I mean, like, literally, there's usually 2 freaking players on a drop down to the one who's dropping. And you can't double drop. That's not going to give you a 2-2. It's just going to mean that suddenly you on that tunnel are with a friend who you're both getting shot at the same time. So the fact that Elevate have got a flawless round off of an attack like that just boggles the mind as to what's going on with INTZ.
And now we're going to have to see how INTZ will start to turn this back around. They've got the initial site that they won on for them to use again. This was lost, though, mainly because of mistakes by Elevate, taking far too long to actually start taking any control of the interior of the building, on top of just general lack of access in the late round.
I feel like after those last 2 rounds, Elevate's probably realized, hey, guys, if we just go, we're going to win all the fights. So let's just go. Because, yeah, that first round, they lost it. Second and third round, they won. How? They just took fights. Elevate have just been taking fights and winning fights. It seems like INTZ are struggling to win their engagements, and that's what's causing them to lose time and time again. There's actually going to be presence by Square this time. It's going to be Hell, opening up the wall from the skylight. That's the usefulness of Habana there.
So that is going to open up things a little bit more quickly here for the attackers in order to give them the angle, well, part of the angle that they need in order to move in and start attacking this site. Still a lot more work needing to be done, though, before Elevate can start to push back in. Most notably trying to knock out players like Intact. Mighty, though, again, off to that early start, as he's been doing in quite a few of these rounds, finds duds. And that's another early 5v4 advantage going over to Elevate.
All right, well, with Mighty taking down duds in reception, that's half the round this time, yeah, and it's a pick, yeah. So it's about the same term in terms of efficiency, but it seems like the way that Elevate are playing is just very different. I mean, already I'm kind of feeling the vibe like Elevate is, if nothing else, going to be pushing us to a draw. They are playing definitely above and beyond what we've seen from them in the past. They're doing a pretty good job of it, to be honest. So, pick early, but it's no longer early, it's now late. And the attackers need to start actually pushing stuff. Wow, Hell going for a repel in main lobby skylight. We just never see this. I don't think I've ever...
This is the first time I've seen it.
In Pro League. That's the thing. Like, I've seen it in other places. I don't think I see it in Pro League. So, mark it down, ladies and gentlemen.
Definitely feeling secure in that one at least, or at least counting on Levix to be able to support him in the process of that. Again, though, timing is going to become a major issue for Elevate, and they're going to have no choice but to just execute on the 5v4. And if you're expecting this to go the way for them, for Elevate this is, well, you shouldn't be, as INTZ should be able to shut this down. However, that hasn't necessarily been the case in the past. Elevate has been working off these executes and has been able to win it, although that's going to start to change now. Mighty is going to find one kill for Elevate, but so far that's the only one. Boar, along with one other player from INTZ, were able to pick up kills here. Hell, though, with a double, brings them back into it again. And now everything falls to one player left from INTZ, way down in the basement as well, as they should be able to disengage from this fight and go for the plant to at least confirm that. Intact in the meantime is still downstairs at the bottom of the main spiral. He's going to work his way up, take this next contest, but he will not win it. Elevate close out yet another round and lead 3-1 over INTZ.
What a win there for Elevate on a big one from Hell. The newest addition, of course, to this roster, if I'm not mistaken. And he has had, I think, some people questioning him for sure, but definitely contributing in that round. And it feels like this Elevate that we're watching right now is a very different one from what we've been seeing in the past. One thing I gotta say is that if Elevate win any more rounds, they have broken their total round count for any individual map so far through this second half of the season. Because these last 3 matches they've had, 7-3 against Liquid, 7-3 against FaZe, and a whopping, what was it? Oh yeah, 7-3 against Ninjas in Pajamas. So yeah, it's been if they get one more round, then that's not happening again, at least.
No, it will not. They will finally break that 3-round curse. I'm sure they're shaking a little bit right now since they've reached it.
We're getting there, guys. We're doing it.
The good news, though, is once again, they've got that basement attack. So
yeah,
as long as INTZ doesn't change anything here, and Elevate can just walk right in
and win gunfights.
Yeah, and win gunfights like they've been doing.
Yeah,
they've probably got a 4th round coming up.
Yeah, it seems like honestly, if I can put it bluntly, I don't see INTZ winning fights. They're not. They'll win one, but then they'll always get refragged by somebody in Elevate, and there's little to no refragging going on the side of INTZ. Almost none. The only time INTZ gets a kill is like, oh, some guy somewhere just out of nowhere, here's the kill. And then meanwhile, you've got Elevate getting double kills, like with Hell in that last round. You've got Elevate always refragging. Always. There's very rarely a player from Elevate in a position all by themselves. There's a lot of bunching up going on from Elevate. And they're hyper aggro. They're just pushing in. And it's working for them because they're so stacked up and INTZ are so spread out.
Well, we've got a couple of the players from Elevate already working their way forward. Mighty, for instance, working himself to the inside. A few other players, they're still going to stick it out as they are waiting for the sort of forward team to clear out the second floor. Roaming presence is a non-issue for Elevate as far as I can see, as INTZ have put all 5 players downstairs to defend the site itself. Roaming presence just has not been working due to the issue you mentioned, where unfortunately they're just not really able to win a lot of fights at the moment. So they've got everybody sit up down here for the most part, except for that one smoke sitting at the top of server stairs.
I think the way he... Oh my gosh. Dude, just slow down. Just deep breaths. Remember when you said they might be antsy after they're getting so close? Yeah. I think you might be right. All right, well, Elevator setting up to take control. Wow, okay, that was a lifeline used to get an Electroclaw so that they could open up the drop down. That's pretty neat. You don't see that every day. But the Electroclaw dealt with, the drop in the Elevator will be opened up by Habana.
Intact still waiting for his opportunities. He's now changed position, actually playing over by main stairs at this point, which is actually a pretty smart adjustment. This was the player that was sitting actually on the inside of server stairs until a few seconds ago with the triple ADS to support him. Now he's got one here. Boar from INTZ. Finally going to get the first kill, and it's against Mighty, who's usually been the one finding the opener for Elevate leading up to this point. Now Elevate have a problem. There's a lot more resistance to this push. They don't have the clean access here that they've had in the past, and now it's going to be denied by gas grenades.
Everything's looking good for INTZ right now. They are set up very, very well. They managed to get the lead-off kill, and it just seems like Elevate are starting to play a lot slower than they used to for some reason. Boar has taken down Hell as well, who has been a major contributor to Elevate's success, and there are no refrags coming. That is the big difference here. Phoenix takes down Cypress, Zion eliminated by Duds. It's all on Lev. It's all over. There's no way he's acing with 30 seconds. Prove me wrong, Lev. Prove me wrong.
trying to see if there was any intel from his drones, but I think that was the one that got shot just outside of the vault a few seconds prior. Trying to check the other side before he drops in. He'll lose the benefit of his flash. There's a crossfire anyway. So INTZ, finally, on a third attempt, are able to hold on to this basement site. They make it flawless as well, as they'll pick up a point from it.
See, that's how that sort of strategy usually goes when it's a known quantity by the defenders. It's how it should have went in past rounds. The big difference there is that Elevate just weren't playing as aggressively. They slowed down, and the major thing, no refrags. Every time it's one push by one player on Elevate, and no one's trying to get him back for his death. So Elevate changed gears. It did not work out. Now INTZ have 2 rounds. We'll be going to the last defense here in the first half. It'll be CEO. So only 2 different sites being played so far through this first half. It's been a pretty fast first half too, probably thanks to Elevate's really, really fast attack runs.
Those 2 basement rounds, I think, are what sped us up so much.
Yeah, probably.
They were able to kind of just jump right in on at least one of those rounds.
We've been cruising through this match so far, but I still have a feeling like it's going to be... Oh no, is it going to be a total turnaround? No, we're still on 3 rounds for Elevate.
Yeah, that's...
Is it going to be the 7-3 for INTZ?
How mad do you think they're going to be?
Oh man, they'd be cursed, dude. That would be the confirmation of the curse, the 7-3 curse.
Just had this crazy start, pick up 3 rounds, like right off the initial trade. They lost the first one, to be fair, but like just finding it after that, and then they just can't get anything, even on defense.
They looked so good in those 3 rounds too.
So we'll see. It's like you said, they've got some good lead up. There's a reason to believe they can find more than this, but
yeah, I mean, I think Elevate. There's no way they let it die here, but
sometimes weird stuff happens in esports.
It does.
There's some ephemeral force that keeps people from getting more rounds. Seen that happen in more than one game.
We'll see what happens. Cypress playing on top of the car park. Lots of angles being played here from INTZ. They even brought a Mira to assist the push from the main lobby. I'm a Mira and a Clash and a Castle, all to assist the push from main lobby. Now the reason they're doing this is because, go figure, Elevate has only attacked through the main lobby. They haven't done anything else yet. Last time they attacked on the CEO, they did actually put a Habana by square to open up a hole, but they didn't really do very much, because the Habana went back to the main lobby.
This is like overall the least square usage I've seen in a half from an attacking team in a long while.
Yeah, they own most of the time, square is the main attack.
Yeah.
And here it's, it's main lobby apparently.
So Elevate definitely fond of trying something a little bit different, and to be fair, it has for the most part been working up until this point, although that is starting to change just slightly here. And we'll see if that'll remain the case, if Elevate can pull off another win here and solidify that 4-2, or if INTZ are truly kind of back into it now and looking to re-secure a win on the only other site they've won so far.
It seems like INTZ has regained a little bit of their confidence after that last round, to be fair. Clash going to dodge by some bullets there. As Mighty tries to take the fight to him. Well, very long angle. Not going to happen. The Ash Charge opened up the angle, though, so that's neat. Elevate have good control of the main lobby. Air jabs going in yet again. This is their strategy. Ready? Repel, car park. Nomad clears into Tellers, and Tellers, and then puts up air jabs. They cover the flank downstairs, and everyone pushes upstairs. Lev will get the first kill there onto Mira. So there you go. It's working out already. Where's that from? North Repel, maybe? Oh, yeah, no. No, Mira was trying to peek the north windows, and he died to somebody on main lobby Repel.
Elevate getting very low on time once again and needing to push the issue on the execute. Hell's going to work his way up. He does spot the mirror window, but Jut's left before they can actually fully peek and find any real impact against him. But immediately they'll start to line up presence to get rid of Hell. You can see the Clash actually does slightly reveal herself there, it looks like, but Hell's not able to really get the angle. It's just one of those satchels on the side that ends up peeking out, and I don't think that'll end up dealing damage if he shoots it.
Wow, nice default cam actually is going to be still alive and can call information instead of CEO. That's a really nice advantage to have. That is because Elevate is not doing anything by square. Look at this, guys. 15 seconds left. We got little to no time for Elevate to make an execution on the site. With the Clash still in play, this looks all but impossible, but they're going to start racking up those kills, coming in from behind even. It's just Duds all of a sudden, and the plant's going down. What happened? Duds trying his best to get some kills, and, well, he'll get one. Can he deny the plant? Answer, no. Hell shuts him down, and Elevate will take yet another round.
Elevate once again shocking us here, this time with a very, very low time to execute. seemingly being able to get it under pressure, and most importantly, solidifying that 4th round, meaning that so far this is statistically the best game they have played in this half of the season.
Way to go, Elevate. Now they're going to switch over to defense, which for Bank actually should be an advantage. So considering they finished the first half 4-2, Elevate look really good right now.
Just 3 more rounds separate them from their first win of the season, and making this night a pretty interesting one for Latin America. As mind you, we also saw the first loss of the entire season for NIP a little bit earlier on today as well.
Yeah, it's been a weird day. So I want to break down that strategy that Elevate ran every single round on attacking CEO. Basically, it goes like this. Okay, we put people on rappel on the west side, on the main lobby door. We put people on car park, and we push in through the main lobby. We drone ourselves into tellers. Once we have tellers, we air jab that and the elevator hallway. With the elevator hallway and tellers air jabbed, we know if anyone's going to be flanking us, so that's a done deal. Once that flank is isolated, there is no other way for the defenders to flank. Like, it's just not going to happen, right? So, I mean, they could actually, in theory, run out from garage and then run up the ramp over the cop car and then into loan office, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So we'll know if they're flanking us. And then what does Elevate do? They brute force their way in through Banana, through the main lobby stairs, and they just take fights, take fights, take fights, take fights. And they refrag each other, and that's really, that's pretty much all Elevate did every time they attacked CEO. And it's a really simple strategy. It relies on brute force, but their brute force is out-muscling INTZ right now, straight up.
And it worked, 66% of the time for them. 3 attempts, they won 2 of them. Duds is going to start things out on the attack, though, the first blood for this half as he takes out the Mute, trying to peek into one of the site windows, giving himself away.
All right, so aggression not working out as well so far in the second half as they are on defense now and then maybe need to be a little bit more passive. But early pick given away here, and now INTZ are the happy ones. So INTZ definitely not trying to, oh wow. Drunk's eating a lot of damage. And he's just going to hit the floor. That was from hell inside the main lobby.
Finds himself a good angle. He's now going to be careful to push coming in from the players at the ATM's entrance. He's actually going to push this as well, trying to see if he can maybe catch someone. He just catches the drone real quick, and I don't think the drone even saw him, so he's going to be good to continue on business as normal. He actually hasn't caught their players up on top just yet, and I think he could get the angle if he pushes it, but I don't think he realizes it right now.
Drunk's going to take down Zion. I believe that was Zion peeking too aggressively? Because he wasn't on rappel, which means that Zion he did the same thing the Mute did.
Yep.
So now Elevate have lost 2 players who just tried to peek out north windows.
And that obviously will prove to have not worked well for them. INTZ still being incredibly slow with their lead up, however, and for good reason too, because Elevate's playing this aggressively. They don't necessarily know what tricks Elevate are going to try to throw at them for the rest of this round. And I think they want to make doubly sure that they don't have to deal with any more of that before they commit.
Well, it's pretty much just a waiting game now for the rest of the Elevate players, as INTZ actually don't have any real control. Like, they have managed to get 2 kills, but they haven't done anything other than that we can see. So, Elevate wait. Okay, drones coming into the hallway by Soda Hall. Mighty being droned out quite heavily here in stock.
A bomb has been located.
And it's definitely trying to take care of this player in stock. If they can pinch him, then, a 2v5, that's unlosable, right? Nate goes out there, but it misses. Mighty's just going to fall back. He's going to fall back because there's 30 seconds left. And oh, wow. Actually, that's somebody else. Mighty hasn't fallen back. I didn't see his outline. He's going to get aggressive and lose his life. Well, there were only 30 seconds left, and now there's only 20, but suddenly a 2 versus 5. This seems really hard for INTZ to lose. Hell is going to rush in and die, and it's just Cypress, who's dead as well. Flawless round for INTZ.
And there you go. That'll get the business done for INTZ. They'll start to work their way back into this matchup now. Only 1 round away from being able to tie this up at 4-4 as Elevate try to play way too aggressively, it seems, on this site and pay the price for it as INTZ, without really any map control to work off of, pull off the execute.
Weird. All right, we're going to go to tellers. First time in this match. A little bit different, I suppose, though you do have to defend the top floor, generally speaking, when you're on tellers, or you're going to be using a horizontal roam over by open area kitchen, which you've seen done as well. Or both. We've seen that as well. I mean, you got options to work with, basically.
INTZ did not feel comfortable to go to this site, so as you said, it'll be the first time we jump onto it here, and we'll have to see how exactly Elevate want to play this. It's still going to be kind of an extended web that they'll have to cast out here with their roamers in order to hold it. That didn't really go too well in the last round, so it's got to be a bit worrisome trying to deploy, well, you know, not even by their own choice, but by the necessity of playing into this site. They'll have to play into that same similar fashion again, just hopefully with a few less window peaks this time.
Yeah, I'm just wondering when... So aggression is great. Over-aggression, great, fine, if you're using it in the right way. Like, whatever, you know, just as long as it's targeted. What isn't is just like, yeah, hey, let's peek north windows. Peek it, and then let's do it again. No, they won't expect it a second time. I don't know, you just target your aggression, you know, wait for the opportune moment. It worked really well for Elevate on attack because they were on attack. Because they set that aggression, like that's them getting to decide. But now they're on defense, which means they have to adhere to the pace that their opponents set. And that last round, INTZ set a really slow pace. So if Elevate had just chilled for a little bit, could you imagine how different that would have been?
Ended up being very different circumstances, especially considering the passive play from INTZ after just the initial kill that happened against them.
Even Mighty. Mighty had 30 seconds left in the round. He started pushing the window when he was inside of stock. Why not just wait? They're not pushing you, man. Like, just deep breaths. But no, anyway, I'm getting carried away. Moving on to a Teller's defense now. And only 2 minutes left for Elevate, as INTZ have been spending most of their time trying to drone out these roamers on the top floor.
Like you said, 2 minutes left to go here. INTZ still very focused on anti-roam at this point, primarily because of the playstyle from Elevate in the last round. Shouldn't be too much of a concern for much longer, however. They've got some good intel onto a second roamer, as they've already taken out the Mozzie from a few seconds ago. Now the Alibi also gone, as Duds finds that pickup onto Mighty. 3 players remain for Elevate. INTZ still with their full 5, but most importantly, only with upstairs control right now. They now have to transfer this back down onto the floor where the actual site is.
It can take some time, but with such a, well, with once again a 2-man advantage, INTZ are still looking strong. Suddenly, as we switch onto Elevate on defense, it seems like Elevate have lost their potency. Like, they just don't seem as lethal as they were in the first half, and I have no idea what changed. Maybe they just really like attacking and aren't happy on defense. Whatever the case be, it's definitely looking like we're going to be going to an even round count, 4-4. Unless Cypress, Zion, and Lev have something crazy to say about it.
We saw Lev try to find one with the Nitro Cell a couple seconds ago, but complete miss from him. And now we're starting to see INTZ basically with all the real estate they need, able to work their way in. Zion will actually win that battle against VNX, however, and start to bring Elevate back into this, if only slightly.
It's a big kill there from Zion. He's going aggressive on Tellers, and he sees one but can't land the shot. In fact, eats some shots from one. That's in the main lobby. Duds is also going to get the kill on the Zion, leaving just Cypress and Lev in sight. 30 seconds left. This is actually enough time for these attackers to make it happen, but Lev is going to add to Elevate's tally. They have gotten 2. There's another for Lev. There you go. 3 total, and suddenly it's an even man count. And with so little time, it's switched in advantage now to the defense. These attackers have to retrieve the diffuser and plant, and they've only got 10 seconds to do it. They're up against a wall here, and that wall is this shotgun on the mute. Actually, great angle play there from the attackers, but Cypher's the last alive. He'll persist and win on the timer. A great job there to Cypress, and amazingly, Elevate will win that.
Cypress also almost going down there too. He took a slight amount of damage, as there was the last player from INTZ trying to spray through the wall and nearly kills him too, but runs out of time just short of it. And so we'll end up seeing Elevate come out on top of that one. 2 more rounds separate Elevate from a win here, and as well, a huge loss for INTZ would be no points. The other 2 teams below them would inch closer and closer. Not close enough to overtake either of them just yet, but either way, it'll be a big victory for Elevate.
That is a big victory, and it's a big victory because it's a strong upset. That was a 5 versus 3 that Elevate just won. Being in the 3 position, of course. Okay, so they're going to go to the basement finally. Took them a while, but they'll head downstairs. Now, Elevate were looking a little bit limp, to be honest, on the defense for a while there. It looked like they weren't able to make anything happen. They had lost a lot of their... Oh, they're just fights were going the wrong way. Their that they had on the attack side just dwindled. And, you know, I don't think that they've really recovered that terribly, but we did see some sparks of magic in that last round. So maybe it's not all gone yet for Elevate. One more round is going to put them on match point. And that's what Elevate's gunning for right now as they go to the basement defense. They have only brought a Maestro. That's the only denial operator they brought. I just noticed. And Hell goes for, are you kidding? Hell goes for a run out and gets one? He'll die, but he managed to kill the sledge.
And he gets about half the HP off the Maverick, too.
What? Well, I mean, it's a dock, so I'd say that's a bit of a waste. But, hey, whatever. Elevate are clearly playing, like, just whatever. I can almost hear them saying at the beginning of this match, you know what? We don't care. I don't care. Whatever. If we lose, we lose. Just take fights. Because that's how Elevate are playing right now. They peeked out. Nobody does that spawn peek. Nobody does that spawn peek because it should not work. It does not work. The fact that it did work is because nobody does it. But it won't work anymore now that it's been figured out. I think INTZ are playing safe because they're aware of the ridiculous levels of aggression that Elevate are willing to pull out in this match. And it is ridiculous. It certainly is. It's not strategic, well thought out. It's just, hey, here's somewhere I can go. I'm going to go there, and I'm going to take fights.
INTZ also, in general, doesn't have the best record for attacking sites on this map. Just a pretty negative record across all 3 of the most played sites here when they have played into it in the past for attack. So they're definitely going to be a little bit nervous about it. Again, we've got another player fragging out, and importantly, he's dropped the diffuser. Zion, ooh, a potential misread here, though, tries to adjust, but no, Intact will take him down. It'll be another 1-for-1. Look at how low Intact is now, though. I don't even know if he has any HP left.
He's got like 1.
Barely can see the bar, but he will recover the diffuser. Problem is, though, again, Elevate still with all the control downstairs at this point.
Yeah, so right there, that was just Zion not getting droned out. Straight up, no other reason that he got that kill. He was in open area. He was hiding behind one of the little cordons there, and nobody droned him.
And so he's going to be able to get away with a free kill there. He's not able to capitalize on it and add an extra one to it, but 1-for-1s are perfectly okay from Elevate, especially with them getting damage onto the player that trades them. Intact has been the player that's had to do that 2 times now, actually, for his team and trade out those aggressive positions.
For those of you who don't know, a good Pro League team can drone every inch of the, like on a basement attack, every inch of the top 2 floors and know for certain that there is no roamer at any of those positions, like the one that we just saw Zion in. So that is really embarrassing for INTZ, and it's one of the reasons why they're now finding themselves not only in a, well, I would say almost at a full man disadvantage because of Maverick's HP. He's going to die to anything. They're pushing Duds into Garage, if I'm not mistaken. So that actually might be a factor if the defenders don't check for it. Intact is also going to get yet another kill. Mighty will take down Duds in Garage, though. It's just the Capitao and Intact, and he goes down to a Legion Trap. It's suddenly just Drunks. The impact kills Intact on the floor, and Drunks eliminated through his own smoke. Elevate, win it out.
That's so. It looked like it was going to go somewhere for a second for INTZ as well. And man, Elevate, what a brutal way to shut it down. The goo mine kill, the Pokeball to secure it, along with about half the damage off the last player there too.
Gotta catch them all.
The flank was shut down, didn't really seem to stand a chance there. So overall, Elevate bring quite the performance here to this match. They still need one more to get it done, but it seems all but likely at this point. It's up to INTZ now to run the next 3 in a row.
And you know what else? Elevate, through so many play days, through, in fact, 10 whole matches, had managed 1 lone point. And now, at minimum, they have to.
At minimum, they've doubled it.
They've doubled their overall score. Round of applause for Elevate. They did it, guys. They did it.
Potentially quintupled it if they get one more round.
Could you? Oh, man. That's the thing. They only need one more.
Yeah.
They got a large opportunity here. 3 rounds. If Elevate win over any of those, quintupled. Oh man, that's so funny for some reason. I don't know why.
We're going to be upstairs for this one. Really, all Elevate seemingly need to change in this is just not peek the windows. And immediately this defensive setup will be a lot better. So let's see if they're going to do that.
I believe in you, Elevate. You can do it. Play safe. They haven't done it this whole match. No safe playing from them. They're not really keen on that. But I think if they pull it off for 1 round, maybe, just maybe. On the other hand, I kind of want to see Hell just peek out the front door.
I mean, to be fair, like, they are leading in the kills, as we just saw the scoreboard there, like, by a pretty big margin, so it's...
Yeah.
A lot of it's just confidence, I would guess, from those players, like, I can do this.
I am feeling the confidence being a factor.
Yeah.
Like, quite substantially, actually, because I've seen INTZ lose and miss a lot of fights where I think I go to my... I think to myself, what the heck? How are they losing that? You know, like, even two people going up against one Elevate player, sometimes it feels like they're just not having much of a chance. It's kind of weird to watch, you know? I feel like INTZ are somehow outside of their own minds right this second.
We're going to see now if INTZ can, well, put anything else up on the board. Hoping to try and get a repeat on so far the only other site that they've won, but that was primarily due to mistakes that Elevate made, and it doesn't look like they're doing it again. Elevate instead are focusing on the inner building roaming presence. As you can see, the three mirrors there just going out, or the three illusions going out there.
Prismas.
Prismas, excuse me. As we're going to have Alibi playing onto the inside of Stocks here.
Yeah, I'm doing a good job of, I guess, slowing down the enemy. And this time, Elevate, as you said, they are actually playing safer. Okay. I spoke too soon.
Never mind. Except for Hell.
Except for Hell, who gets a kill in the main lobby because INTZ are not watching their North Repel. See,
which he did this in the last round, too.
See, no, but that's a really common thing that Hell's doing. That's the thing that really bugs me. INTZ should be doing that by default, regardless of if Hell is running on the main lobby. There should always be somebody covering, so Hell can never do that if you're rappelling on North Window. Otherwise, you shouldn't rappel on North Window. Hell's going to get a second on a really tight angle, and it looks like it's all over for INTZ. It's just 4 against 5. He is not going to be able to get more than 1, hopefully, if you're Elevate.
I like you had to change that statement to a question.
It's like he was really close to getting 2 there. It looked like it was gonna be for a second.
Just had to shift the sentence into mid-speak.
I made it happen. It's all right.
What a play from Kicks here.
We're going mute down, so no flawless round. Bor, though, being contested from the top of Skylight Stairs, and he's eliminated. Elevate their first win in Pro League in 11 play days, including this one.
And this night just continues to surprise. Like we said before, this is coming off of the first loss of the season from NIP earlier tonight. Them and Elevate seemingly kind of have traded places for the time being, and Elevate is going to end up coming on top in a very big way over INTZ, and I'm sure that they are very, very happy about the result of this matchup.
You know who's not? INTZ.
Definitely not.
They just lost to the team that hasn't won anything.
Man, look at these performances too. 12 kills on both Mighty and